Okay. Hello, guys. 10 people. Bình do Duy. Okay. Huy, Lona, Huy, Vinh Dương. Oh, wait. Vinh is online. Whoa. Oh, here we go. He was.
He's going to the doctor today to see the gender of his baby.
He was here on Friday. Correct. No. That's his daughter's birthday. So he was here on Thursday. Yeah, because of the weekend. Okay. Right. So guys, today topic we will have two topics: refactoring and error handling. It may sound refactoring is it may sound complicated, but actually it's not. But about error handling here, I find hard to me. The code is complicated to understand. But don't worry too much about this. You only do it once per app. Like you can copy and paste the snippet, right? And if you want to customize, of course you can. Or you can just copy and paste, and that also works. And actually, you already have the error handling function inside your app when you do express generator. Use express generator, but it's very simple. And now today we will learn how to make define like a handler to be more like precise and correct. Right. But before we go into the topics, and let's recap a little bit. So last week we learned how to use MongoDB and Mongoose together. Okay. There are a bunch of queries, different query. What was the query that you use in your app? Can you tell me? What was the query? The method, the query. Find one, find one update, find one and delete. Those 5 minutes. No, find actually return an array already. So there's no such thing as 5 minutes. What's the difference between find one and 5 minutes? Oh yeah, sorry, find and find one.
One array. Oh no, one object, one document.
Yes.
Find return condition.
Yeah, so find actually return an array that matches the condition, and find one return the first document that matches the condition. Right? There may be many different documents that match the condition, but it always return the first one. So that's the big difference between find one and find. So if you use find one, you can use a Boolean check like if not something, if not result. But if you want to use find, you have to use like if results of length is equal 0. So that's different. Find return an array, and find one return an object. Right. We also learn a couple of methods. Oh wait, let's go back. This week we will learn more about these, and we will understand there are actually methods that work with documents, and methods that work with the model, and methods that work with the queries. So we have 3 different middleware, and we will explore it this week. Not today, don't worry. Okay, for model, we also have methods, right? How many types of methods do we have for model? Remember when we do schema.methods, schema.statics, something? So we have 2 different types of function. You can call a function, but when function belong to an object or a class, we can call them methods. So we have a normal methods that work on the instance of the class, for example, that work on a document, right? We also have another method called static that will work on the model. Right. So static, we can only call it on the model, the class, and normal method we can call it on the instance. So, and the this will be different. The this for the statics will refer to the model itself, and the this in the normal method will refer to the instance. And when you try to construct a bunch of times, when you actually code, you will see different more like clearer. And we also learn how to modeling the relationship, embedding, and referencing. Right. What we have learned is just the basic. We explore more this week. And at the end of this week, we will create. We have to create a React app for mean a UI for our Airbnb app. Let me check the chat. Oh, I can't read after. Okay, morning. So we also learn controllers, authentications. So I heard from Huang that a couple of you guys still confused, are still confused about the authentication. Cool, right? So if you feel like unclear about this, raise your hand. So I will like explain it more in the afternoon. Okay. Well, really? All right. That's a lot. Okay. After this topic, I will go back on this authentication. We learn how to use login required middleware, right? And we can also change another middleware to check if the user is a host or a normal user. Did we? Well, we did. Okay. So based on that, we can check the user type, right? That's enough about it. So I think this afternoon I will have a review session. Not really a review session, but I will explain how class work. Like here, you see something called new user, right? And then you pass in name, password, something like that. And then you use const user equal to new user, and then user.set, something like this. So I will explain more on how it works. Okay, user here is a class, and this is an instance of the class. So in the afternoon, after class, I will explain more, so that you don't feel lost, because for the chat app, we also need to use class as well next week. Okay. So today's topic is about refactor. Yeah. Yes, everything is individual in backend. It's okay if you want to work together. I'm not against that, and I encourage that. But to me, I want everyone to actually code. Okay. Oh my God, it looks so ugly. I didn't record. Oh, I do record. Right. Now, if you have done your weekly project, you should realize that you repeated the code a lot, right? So when you register, create a new user, create a new experience, create a new review, right? You actually repeated your code, or at least your logic, two times. For create, for update, and for delete as well, right? And in programming, you try to avoid those, like repeating your code. Okay. And then when you want to fix something, or you want to add something to, for example, when you create, you want to fix something, then you have to do it 3 times. You have to go into 3 functions for create something, and then you have to change it 3 times. Or you want to update, when you change something in the update, you have to go into multiple functions and then change them. And then that will be bad if you have a bunch of controllers. It's very hard to keep up. Just like how we, just like in React, you try to not create new components, you try to reuse them. Same thing here. We try to reuse the logic, or we try to reuse the code, so that in the future, when you have problems or you want to change something, you don't have to change it in too many files, right? And also to me as well, it happened to me as well. Like you write a bunch of code and then you go to sleep, and then the next day you wake up. When you look at your own code, you have no idea what you did there. Sometimes it happened to me sometimes. And by refactoring, we will try to avoid these. Like we understand more about our code. Actually, yes. When you try to refactor, you will have to delete a lot of code, make it shorter, make it more compact. And by doing that, you understand more about your code. Oh my God. Right. And me as well. I don't have time to refactor my own code. You too, I bet. Like you haven't even finished your assignment, right? So that means you don't even have time to look back at your code and then refactor it. That's happened to a lot of us. And that's why we need to learn how to refactor our code. Make it more readable, make it more like compact. Right, so the term here is refactoring. Here is just like restructure our own code, the body of our own code, right? Without changing the outcome, like the external behavior, like the result, response. So we change our code, make it shorter, or fix the bugs without changing the outcome, right? So here's an awesome Google website. I forgot what this website about, right? Here, there's a huge article. You can read all of these. It's very fun. Click on it, click on it. There are a couple of ways to refactor code, but we will learn it. And today we will learn one thing. It's called factoring. Factory. Right. So we create a factory here. Will it will create a function. It will return a function, meaning we call it handler factory. And that handler factory will return a function. Oh, I said beforehand. So here are a couple of reasons why we need to refactor code. I went ahead, sorry. So I better understand up our code. Try to not repeating the logic, right? Or declaring the whole function again, right? And sometimes when you want to debug, it's very hard to find where it went wrong. So we have all the logic in one place. It's very easy to fix it later. There are a couple of things that we can make our code better. First, this is from the last class, because maybe even this class, I didn't use Express generator. I started from scratch. Right, so that's why we have another topic about separating the routers. So right now, Express generator is actually separate on the routes for you. So that's why it's very hard to understand at first. But now you actually use follow that way, so we don't need to mention much about this. And nested group, I think I explained it on Friday or Thursday. I think I did go over it, so I will repeat it again in lab if I run into that problem. So here's our main point: refactoring the handlers. So we have create user, we have create experience, we have create review. We also have update and delete. So today we will learn how to make it short, like we combine three create function into one. We combine three update function into one, something like that, right? So we will have something called create one, update one, delete one, kind of like that. And one there will be a document. One will be a document. So a document can be a user, can be an experience, can be a review. So one will be a document. And then in the later half, we will learn how to handle errors, probably. Like using Express generator, we also have an error handler, but that handler return a template. It doesn't return a JSON body. So we need to change that. We also want to return different response based on the environment. If we in development mode, we want to return the whole error stack, so that when you try to use Sweet Postman, you see the error and you understand where the error coming from. But in production, you don't want to return that kind of error stack. You only want to return a message, something went wrong. You don't have to say it's so specific about what's wrong or where it's wrong, right? So that's different between development and production. Okay, and here we go. Too small. Let's see if you see it bigger. Oh my God. Can you see it?
No.
Can you go to this this slides here? Page 12. Full stack web. Yeah, okay. 13. Oh crap. Yes, Henry. This link. I didn't see this. Okay. So here in this picture, this is our response in development mode, right? Can you see it? No, on your screen. What? I see it on my screen here. Right, so we have status error and we have the error stack, right? In the error object here, we see the stack. And you can actually, when you look at the stack, you can understand, you can find out where it's wrong, right? For example, something wrong in the validation step, right here. So just an example, and there's a message, validation fail for the tool. So this is the reverse project. And in production mode, it's different, just one line. Error or fail, something wrong there. For example, cannot cast the ID, array of ID into the object ID for some reason, right? The message should be short. And we will learn how to handle the errors based on the environment today. And we also learn how to respond the code here. So the code here is customized. So everything here is customized. And currently, what we are doing is like we use try and cast in our controllers, and we return the error manually, right? We will repeat the try and cast a lot. So we will learn how to automatically do that. Let the application do that for us. We don't have to try and cast. It will be captured automatically by using a middleware now. Middleware, powerful, right? Right. So we redefine a couple of messages. Like for example, 4 messages, 400 messages, 500 messages. Like I'm talking about the status code. Sorry. So we can redefine some messages, and then inside our controller, we will check what's the error, and then we turn the corresponding message. Right. And we also learn how to return different type of messages. And don't worry about these too much. You can copy and paste code a lot. Trust me. Like it's not different from this app to another app. It's very similar. You can actually save the code and reuse it in your final project.
So what's the point?
Go back.
The point of the error handler.
I mean, we can just send the error like before. So what's why do we have to do this?
It's make your code a little bit harder to understand because you have try and catch in every single block in function, I would say, right? So now we will learn how to create something that will automatically capture the error for you. You don't.
An app that will catch every error.
Yes, and you can redefine the error as well. Redefine the code, redefine the error message, all of those. So you don't have to use try and catch. It makes your controller shorter, a lot shorter. Everything sounds complicated. Magic, it is. But we can copy and paste code. And just like authentications, we only do it once per app, right? Authentication, you only do it once for your app and then it's done. You don't have to redo it every time you open a new router, for example, right? And the logic is like 99% the same from app to apps. That's it. So I'll show you how the controller look like with try and catch and without try and catch. Okay. So here we go. Okay, here we go. Oh, GitHub changed the UI. Clear. So here we go. Oh, what is this? So here, I remove try and catch, right? As you can see here in my controller, I don't have try and catch anymore, right? Instead, I have another function to wrap around the function, a function that wraps around the function. So we will learn how to do this and catch is in here. The function here will capture all the errors, return it in a with the predefined message. So you don't have to use try and catch and then right. So whenever you want to return the error, you check the condition and you want to return the error. For example, here, if the user doesn't provide enough information, you can return next and then. So instead of new error, now we have something different called new app error, which is a customized error object. We learn how to do that. Don't worry. This is just a new error, very similar new error, right? And the error here is the default error object from JavaScript, from Node, and we will define our own object, error object. And because the default error object doesn't have the started code, it only has the message. So if you want to return an error, you can do something like this, message. So now we add one more argument, which is the code, right? It's shorter than using dot response something and status something and then message, right? This one is shorter. And you don't even need a try catch to wrap around the whole controller. Right, so that's what we're gonna do today. We have two parts: factory, handler factory, and then error handler. And let me go over the lab first before I have a couple of questions. Right. So here in the lab, we have a handler factory, part one. And then part two, we will learn how to handle errors. And yes, that's it. So there's a bunch here you can copy and paste, so you don't have to write exactly what I write on the board or on my laptop. You can just watch and then copy from part two. From part two, you can actually copy and paste. Part one, you may want to follow me. And then after that, you will have more time to finish try to finish your weekly project, right? Because I didn't see that many submissions. Okay. All right, let's go back here and have some questions. Looks okay. I will explain authentication in the afternoon later after class, or explain about the class. Which one do you prefer?
Yeah, I don't
Both?
think so.
Okay, class tomorrow. about the class. I will explain tomorrow. So authentication is more important now. So today, at this afternoon, and do you have anything about refactor? Any questions? You may ask like, the code is fine, the code works, so why do we have to change it? Why do we have to refine it, right? Trust me, every time you do it, you will do it like in a better way. Every time you code, you recode it, you code it in a better way. And when you do it a couple of times, you will see, okay, I repeat this code a lot. So why don't I have a function that will handle all those cases instead of rewriting every time I need it, right? And the whole process is called refactoring. Sometimes you may do it, but you didn't notice. Okay. And yeah, so here's a good question, like why we don't understand why we need to refactor code, but when to refactor code? And yes, also there's another reason why where for that. And now if you want to add one more feature, some feature to your app, and then it takes you too long to understand your old code, that's time you need to go back and refactor, make it clearer, make it short, right? And yeah, we don't need to do this today. We will learn the factory design button, which we have a function that return another functions. And this pattern is very popular in Java. Right. Okay, that's it. Actually, I hate this topic. It's very hard to explain why you need to do that, and because you don't even need it in your final project, right? So people will say, why should I learn that? But actually, it's helped you a lot when you actually you start working. So it's more like a real experience. Okay. Do you have any questions before taking a 5-minute break and then start the lab? I will start first with the refactoring, create a new document, create a new user, create a new experience, create a new review. Okay, class. Anh Huy one have class. Who's Anh Huy here? We have 2 Anh Huy. Nguyễn Anh Huy and me, the only one. Okay, the always only one. Henry. Okay, so let's take 5-minute break, guys. 5-minute break as well. I need some coffee, tea, or something. Okay. Five minutes.